Oh. Well, hello there. I am here with the legendary Ronnie Larsen. Ronnie, I want to say thank you so much for meeting with me today. It's an honor, truly.
Of course.
And I brought you a small gift.
Oh my God.
My appreciation. Thank you so much, Ronnie.
It's Christmas in Wilton Manors. Can I open it?
Please.
Okay, I'm going to open it right now. I love presents.
It's my honor. It's my pleasure. You've done so much for the community, Ronnie. So
Not enough.
My little saying thank
I
you.
need to do more.
So, Ronnie, let me ask you. You are the legend of theater. You kept the lights on during the dark times of the pandemic, sending us lots of beautiful videos online and giving us a connection. How did you get started doing theater?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, can I just derail us for 1 second?
Yes.
This is so important to me. What you just gave me. This is crazy the way the universe works. We just started this series 2 weeks ago called Musical Madness, and we did the first one we did Sweet Charity, and next month we're doing Guys and Dolls. And I wanted to start with Wizard of Oz. They said, let's hold off on Wizard of Oz. I said, but that's the movie I'm dying because that's my favorite movie.
I love it too.
One of my favorite movies. And so we're gonna do it in a few months. We're gonna do a sing along to Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
And so it's like the universe is affirming that idea. So thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my God, the coffee's delicious. I'm gonna put it right there.
Love it.
I love it. Thank you.
Very good. So, how did you get started doing theater?
You know what? It's such a long story, but I'll try to be very brief. I never have not been involved in theater since I was very young. I remember when I was about 6 years old, I went in my dad's library, and he had a copy of Death of a Salesman, and I for some reason he had all these books, but I found Death of a Salesman. I don't know why, and I started reading. It was a play, and I started memorizing it. And I'm walking around the house. I was like 6 years old, doing Death of a Salesman speeches, and everyone was laughing like the 6-year-old kid is doing Death of a Salesman. And I don't know what, but I don't know what's. I look back and I think, why of all the books did I gravitate to a play? I knew nothing about theater, but somehow theater just was in my DNA. Like so, and I've never not done theater. From that moment on, I've always been involved in theater, and I didn't know that when the playwriting thing started very late for me. I always wanted to be an actor. That was just what I thought that would be it. Mm-hmm. And then I got into directing, and then I got into producing, and then finally I started writing. So it's been a journey for me, but it started very young, and I've never really looked back. I've never changed.
It's your calling, is what it is, and so it's something.
And can I say too, the
Sure.
pandemic really. I've gone through periods of my life where I've questioned myself and said, why are you doing it? It's so much work, you don't always make money, and a lot of drama and blah, blah, why are you doing this? And then when the pandemic, when you saw that it could be taken away,
Yes.
it profoundly changed me. I learned to be so grateful during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. It's so important what we do, and I never said that my whole life. I never said what we do is important. I said, oh, it's fun, it's good, it's cool, but I never said it was important.
Absolutely.
And the pandemic taught me that it is really important, the work that we do.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure. And so, tell me something. I noticed that you're doing this wonderful work with P.O.W.
Yes, P.O.W. P.O.W.
Yes, tell us about P.O.W.
Well, P.O.W. So a lot of people. I mean, it's kind of, to be very honest. A lot of it was about money. People would say to me, "I love the work you do. I would love to support you, but you're not a nonprofit. If you were a nonprofit, I would support you." And I said, "Oh, I don't want to start a nonprofit. You have a board of directors. They're going to be telling me what to do. It's going to be a night. Blah 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 blah. I don't want to do that." So I really resisted. And then during the pandemic, I said, "We have to go nonprofit because we have to save the theater because we have no shows."
No, and thank you because
yes. And again, the pandemic turned out to be a gift because I started this nonprofit, and it's just been an amazing joy. My board is so great. They have all these ideas. We have these meetings, and it's like, oh, I never thought of that. And they've donated so much money, and it's just the theater is. This is the first month where I haven't had to worry about the rent. Like we have the rent in the bank. I'm going to go write the check today. That's all because of POW and the board of directors.
And it's really a benefit to the community on so many levels, and I really think that's great that you started that because it really then helps the continuity and security of theater, which is so important to so many.
Yes, and one thing that I want to say is we've always done, even when we were a nonprofit, we've always done a lot of nonprofit work. We do a lot of play readings, and they're free to the public. We don't make any money on those. and we, it's free, and we pay for them. We pay the actors. A reading costs about $500, and I used to just fund those myself. Now P.O.W. is funding those readings. We're doing these lesbian, this outreach program to the lesbian community. There's a lot of stuff that we're doing.
That's excellent. Yeah.
That is really, we are literally like, there's no money in this, but we believe in it, and so we're doing it.
No, and it's so important. So you'll probably, I think you already answered this question, but who is your favorite playwright?
Shakespeare.
Mine too. I thought you were saying Arthur Miller with the Death of a Salesman.
Shakespeare.
Excellent.
And I have a little thing I want to say about that, which is really pretentious, but I'm going to say it. I've never said this on TV before, or I've never said this in an interview.
Yeah.
I can't remember to say it, but I really believe this. Shakespeare was a very popular playwright in his time.
Yes.
And he wrote the plays very quickly. He churned them out. He was sitting backstage cranking the plays out. And they were popular. And when I started writing plays, this is absurd what I'm going to say, but I was always a Shakespearean actor. That's how I got into theater. I did like every Shakespeare. I did a million Shakespeare plays until I was about 25. But when I started writing, I felt so connected to Shakespeare. I know that's absurd to say because, of course, you don't think, Shakespeare. But yet, the plays that I tend to write, I try to write popular plays, and I write very fast, and I churn out a lot of plays. And I've always felt like, in a way, I feel connected to. I mean, of course, Shakespeare is a genius, and I'm on a different.
Nonsense! You're a genius.
But I'm not. But I'm saying, people forget that Shakespeare was.
Right.
If he were alive today, he'd be writing Hollywood blockbusters. He wanted to be popular. He wanted to make money. So I love Shakespeare for many reasons, but I also feel connected to him as a commercial playwright.
The Bard.
The Bard.
Yes.
What's your favorite Shakespeare play?
When shall we three meet again? In thunder,
lightning, or in rain. When the hurly-burly's done. When the battle's lost and won.
There to meet with the Scottish play. You can't say it. We're in a theater. We're in a theater.
I directed that play.
Speaking of superstitions in theater, Ronnie,
yes.
Everyone says that theaters are haunted. They have a resident ghost. Do you have any stories for us?
I've heard that this theater is haunted, actually. I have not experienced it, but I will tell you, some nights I'm alone in here, and I go to turn the lights off, and it's pitch black for a minute, and I have a little bit of fear. Something in me, I get like fear. It's funny too. We're doing a campfire story night in August 21st, and what we're doing is we're going to have 10 people, and they're going to tell really scary stories that really happened to them.
I love it.
So it's going to be fun.
Now, describe Wilton Manors, if you would, in 3 words.
3 words. I have one word. I'm going to say it 3 times.
Gosh.
Community, community,
yes.
Community.
So true.
I have lived in West Hollywood. I have lived in the Village. I have lived in San Francisco. I never felt a part of a gay community until I moved to Wilton Manors. Not that I didn't feel like there was a lot of gay, wonderful people in those cities, but Wilton Manors is a real community. You go to Rosie's and you see someone, and then you go to the theater and you see them again.
Or even the grocery store.
You go to the grocery store.
I love it. I absolutely agree.
It's a real community. And the people here are unbelievably supportive. They go see everything. One night they go to Maddie's, and the next night they go to the pub, and the next day they go to Gym Bar, then they go to Alibi, then they go to the Play, then they go to Island City Stage. It's an amazing community here. And I always say the last real gay community in America.
Now, saying all that, and I agree with you, what do you suppose, what do you see Wilton Manors evolving or changing, or will it stay that sort of community?
It's funny. I keep waiting for this mass immigration here from all the other gay meccas. Because, for instance, it's very hard to make a living as a gay playwright, but we have 2 gay theaters next door to each other here in Wilton Manors, and I always think that one day every gay playwright in America is going to wake up and go, I need to move to Wilton Manors and become a gay playwright in Wilton Manors because there's an audience there that will actually buy tickets to my plays. So I feel like there's going to be this big awakening in the next 3 or 4 years, and all these people are going to move here and realize this is the promised land. This is the Utah, for gay people. I feel like it's a little secret. Like, some of my friends had never heard of Wilton Manors. They go, "What's that?" I go, "Oh my God, what's Wilton Manors?"
Yeah, right.
So I believe that I think it's going to explode in the next 3 or 4 years.
I love it. And so, here's an interesting thought. What is your animal spirit?
A shark.
Ah, very cool.
Actually, that's not true. But I'm wearing my Jaws socks.
I love it.
I'll tell you. I used to say that it was a hippo because they're really fat and they're really cuddly and they're really cute, but they're actually kind of dangerous.
Oh yeah.
People don't really. Hippos kill a a lot more people than.
Don't mess with the
Yeah,
hippo,
don't mess with the hippo. And I feel like that's a great,
The
you know.
river horse.
Yes. So I feel like the hippo, I can be very tough when I need to be, but I also am this big cuddly guy. So I feel like a hippo is kind of like my animal.
What is your best experience on stage? What's your worst experience on stage?
God, it's gonna sound so pretentious, this answer, and I don't mean it to, but I don't think I've ever had, sitting here with some distance, I don't look at it that way. Every experience is, you learn so much. When it goes bad, and it goes bad, many nights it goes bad, and you walk off and it's sad, but you learn so much. When you fail, it's such a great thing. All of my success has come from failure. You learn and you're like, oh, don't do that again, or do that better. And then when you have a great night, it's great, but it's never perfect. It can always be better. So I'm never nostalgic about the work. I'm never sentimental. It's always like, we hit an 8 tonight. We're not a home run. We had a home run night. Can we do it again tomorrow? It's always about tomorrow.
It's always different every night, and it's always organic.
That's right.
I love it.
That's right.
If you could meet anyone from history, living or dead, any famous person, who would it be?
Well, William Shakespeare.
Ah.
I would like to meet William Shakespeare.
Very cool.
I'd like to sit backstage and watch those plays, and
I'm sure there was all kinds of fun and debauchery going on
I
backstage.
have no doubt.
I love it.
As there always is.
As there always is.
As
I mean,
there
the
always
backstage really is a big part of the front of the right? Yeah, I love it. Okay, Ronnie, if you could change one thing about this fakakta world, what would it be?
Do we have to go there?
Okay, we don't.
I feel that I will never be able to breathe properly until that man who was our president for 4 years is no longer on the planet.
Hey.
I feel as happy as I am about the way things are going right now, I still have this fear that he's going to come back in 4 years, be reelected, and the nightmares will begin again. And I just think this world would be much better if he were not here.
Oh. And I'm sure there's so many people that would agree with you. It was very frightening, and I think it speaks to really a larger issue that really started before him. It just he sort of filled in a void for those who were very unhappy about a lot of things that were progressive and changing for the better.
It's not about him. It's about that he unleashed what he unleashed.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
He told people it's okay to say these things. It's horrifying.
He gave license.
Yes.
Well, we can't leave on that note.
No, we cannot.
Tell us what's coming up. What's next?
I actually have a huge announcement.
Tell us.
I shouldn't even say because I haven't signed the contract yet, but I know it's going to happen. But it just happened this morning.
We'll just be vague about it.
No, I'm going to tell you what happened.
Okay.
It's exciting. I recently saw Valley of the Dolls. And who doesn't love Valley of the Dolls? I had forgotten it, but I fell in love with it again. And I said, I want to do an adaptation of Valley of the Dolls in Wilton Manors. But I can't write it. Who could write it? A writer fell into my lap who's doing a show here in October, this other thing with Miss Bouvier. And I love the writing of it. I said, hey, would you be interested in this? So I sent him, I pitched it to him. He goes, yeah, I said, write a sample for me. He sent me this morning the first page of Valley of the Balls. And it is so funny, and we're going to produce that very soon because he's got to write it. But we're commissioned it this morning. It is so funny. It's about It's about this young star that he moves from Oakland Park to Wilton Manors.
I love it.
Do you know Valley of the Dolls really well?
Sure, of course.
Anyway, so it's a spoof of Valley of the Dolls. It's called Valley of the Balls, and it's by this wonderful writer Robert Lelou, and he's just really talented and funny. And so that's no one knows this project's happening. Now you know.
I can't wait. Mazel tov.
Valley of the Balls.
Wonderful. Ronnie, thank you so much.
Oh my God, thank you. I adore you.
It's been a lovely interview with you, and I am so grateful, and I thank you
you
so much. And I know that all of our viewers really love you and appreciate this.
Thank you.
And I just adore you.
And
I had a dream.
A dream about you, baby.
Oh, ciao, darling. I love you. Mwah.